Hi my lovelies, so today I wanted to show you this beauty. This is a Belle Tress Dalgona 16, which means it's 16 inches long because there is a Dalgona that is much longer as well. And this is a newish color. This is Rootbeer Float Blonde. It's a bit mouthful. So you know in Belle Tress my favorite color is Butterbeer Blonde. This is a Rootbeer Float Blonde. The cap on this wig is exactly the same like on the latest one that I've shown you, Nitro. So it has a standard wefted cap and left monofilament and a lace front. The lace front is not very wide, so it's not from temple to temple. The lace front is just like from here to here, but it's done so well because even when I pull the hair up, it's got such a nice coverage here, and the way the hair lies, sometimes you know where you see the edge of the cap, the hair doesn't sort of lie flat so you can see the edge of the cap. Here you can't. It's really well done, and the lace front is beautiful. Let me zoom you in. Look at that lace front, it's absolutely gorgeous. And here are the sides. So I've had this wig for a while, but with Christmas and all that I forgot all about it, but I had it hanging upside down as I usually do when I take the wig out of the box. I turn it inside out and I hang it, you know, by one of the loops of the cap on a door handle or something, and I had it hanging inside the wardrobe, so I forgot all about it. So that is just to loosen it up a bit, because you know wigs can come quite squashed because they've been squashed in the box, and then do all this at the root to loosen up the fibers, and that's all I did. It seems to have this natural swoop here, which I really like. I hate it when the hair falls on in your face. This is a heat friendly fiber, and it's so beautiful. I feel like Belle Tress's fiber gets better and better. It feels really nice, soft and silky. I also love the density of this wig. It's not very thin, but it's not thick either. It's just right. Especially with long hair, I feel if there is too much hair, it sort of swamps you and it doesn't look as natural. So I feel like this one has just right density. I would have even maybe had it slightly less dense for me, but it's beautiful. So the style, let me show you all around. It's those really, almost like you've curled your hair, went to bed, got up, and that's what you were left with. Very natural looking. I really like it. Sometimes really big defined curls can look a bit overdone or too perfect. This is just looking so natural, so I love it. Now the color. I don't know if I should turn the light up a bit, or this is maybe actually quite good for the color description. So let me show you my favorite Butterbeer Blonde. So this is the Nitro from Belle Tress. I think that this one is overall cooler. So like the root, by the way, the root is done so beautifully. The transition from the dark to blonde is gorgeous. The root is much more ashy, whereas on Butterbeer Blonde, don't know if you can see it in this light, the root has a bit of red in it, especially in the sun you can see it, whereas this one is definitely, there's no red in it. And I think the darker low lights are a bit more ashy, whereas these ones are a bit sort of honey and warmer. But the Butterbeer Blonde is blonder, brighter, I would say, because it has really big chunks of that pearly white blonde, whereas this seems like a bit more evenly distributed, the dark and the light. So I think overall it's not as bright as this one, but it's still very blonde. To be honest, I don't see that much difference. If I didn't hold them side by side, you wouldn't notice big difference between the colors. So they are both really nice. It's just if you prefer the root a bit less red and slightly cooler look, then maybe go for the Rootbeer Float Blonde. But I think I still prefer, well, I love the Butterbeer Blonde, but I wish the root wasn't as red. And I know that there are some discrepancies. Some Butterbeer Blondes don't have very red roots, some have. That's the only problem with Belle Tress. The colors slightly vary. I have two Calientes from Belle Tress in Butterbeer Blonde, and one's got a bit longer root and redder than the other. So there are some small discrepancies, but I think they are getting better with that. I mean, my Calientes are quite old. So that's the difference between these two colors. Now let me compare it to Jon Renau's Palm Springs Blonde, which is very cool. There is no warmth in that one at all. So you can see this one, I mean, in tone they are both cool, but this one is brighter because again this one has much more of that blonde, whereas I feel like this one is quite blonde at the front, but everywhere else I feel it has like an even distribution of the blonde and darker. So as you can see, this is much blonder, whiter. And then let me compare it to Raquel Welch Shaded Biscuit. But remember, this is original Shaded Biscuit. I need to repeat it every time I talk about this color because I've had so many messages from you. I bought Shaded Biscuit and it's much darker than yours. And I've talked about it before. Something has happened at Raquel Welch and I don't have an answer for you. The Shaded Biscuit is much darker. It almost looks nothing like the original one. On some styles you still get the original one, so I don't know if they've changed factories or what happened, but if you see me in Shaded Biscuit, you have to be prepared that you might not get that color, which is annoying, and I'm really reluctant now to talk about this color because if someone goes and orders it and gets the darker one, you know, I've even been accused that I'm using some tricky lighting, but it's not my fault. Okay, so this is Shaded Biscuit. Again, very, very similar, but when I pick up the darker bits, these darker bits are definitely more ashy, neutral, but in Shaded Biscuit you have tiny bit of warmth, like honey blondes in here. But again, if they were not side by side, you probably would not notice the difference. So all these blondes, really, if you like any of these, you will like this one. I think I still prefer the Butterbeer Blonde, like I said. Apart from the root, I would like the root to be a bit less red, but I love this one equally. So, got a frog in my throat. Okay, so I made the light a bit brighter now. It's only because it's quite miserable day outside, so the lighting is not so good. So let me now show it to you in a bit brighter light. So again, this is Butterbeer Blonde. Very, very subtle difference. Oops. original shaded Biscuit. And John Renault Palm Spring Blonde. So I love this length. You know how I feel about long hair, but I think this I can cope with. Very similar to the Nitro, which has this lovely pattern as well. I love this wig too. And I think you can style it a lot. Let's play with it a bit, because really this is falling in. I want to see, obviously you've got left monofilament on this one, but let's see if I change the parting. That would work. The only problem is that there is, all you can see is the wefts here, and the root is not big or dark enough to disguise that. But I think you could get away with it if you did maybe like a zigzag parting. But yeah, so that's on a right hand side, and that's how he came. He already has that swoop here, so I think I would have to wear it that way. So it's beautiful straight from the box. Let me brush it. Some people always say, why don't you ever brush your wig? And that is because I really like more of a defined curl. But let me brush it. So that's when I brush it out, and I don't like it. So what you do to bring it back to what it was, where did I put it? I just spent 5 minutes looking for this. I remember taking it out of the cupboard, and I don't know where I put it, and it turns out I put it in another cupboard. Anyway, if you want to bring back the curls, all you need is spray bottle with just pure water. And this is a trick that I've learned from Taz's Wig Closet. I'm sure if you watch my wig reviews, you watch Taz. Taz is an expert on wigs. Taz is the reason I wear wigs. So I will leave you her channel. She reviews just wigs, and she wears wigs on a daily. So all you do is spray it with just pure water. Will dry really quickly. Scrunch it a bit, and the curls will be back to exactly the same style. The lace front is so beautiful on this wig, honestly. And I don't know what they did here, but it looks pretty good. It's so easy to disguise. So if you wanted to do like half up, half down, this looks really good. Sometimes, I mean, if I pull all the hair back, you can see that really even. But what you can do with that is pull some of your own hair. Not that I have that much hair around here, but when you pull your own hair, like I always put a bit of my own hair here at my ear, so if the wind blows, you don't see that harsh line where the cap is. You just see your own hair. But obviously you can only do that if the wig is similar to your own hair. But yeah, I don't know how they did this, that it looks so good. It's very hard for me to pull my hair now because I've got that wig grip underneath. But yeah, if you pull it like that, can you see, you see the ridge, but you can pull your own hair here. But when you go like this hair lies so nicely here that really disguises that. I really like that. I'm sure you don't get that with every wig. So that's really nice. So this wig is really good, I think, to style. So what I like that the front is a bit shorter, as you can see, the fringe. So you could take one of these clips and do a ponytail, low ponytail. I like low ponytails with wigs. You could obviously, I quite like doing this with my wigs. Take like the middle portion and just one of these little crocodile clips. And sometimes, for example, with some of the Raquel Welch wigs, you know, Shaded Biscuit has that really bright, big chunk of hair at the front. And sometimes if you put it up, it almost looks unnatural because you see the root here, but really blonde here. But this is perfect. You would not know that this hair is not growing out of my own scalp. So you could do that. You could do the, like I said, half up, half down. I like half up, half down. And you could put it all up. This requires a bit more work because you can't pull at it like you would pull on your own hair, because you will come off your head. What I do at the back, I usually pull my own hair a bit because my hair is quite short here, so that's what I do. Yes, I love these wigs for hair up. You also always ask me about these little clips. I buy them on eBay or AliExpress, you know, so you can, I like that as well. I like doing this because it takes the heaviness from the front. I am not used to having so much hair here. If you've been with me for a long time, you know my hairline goes like, I call it Mickey Mouse hairline. So I don't actually have any hair growing out of here, whereas this hairline is so low. And I know there is a lot of people that have hairlines like this, so they are probably used to it, but I am not. So, oh yes, I really like that. I think that's my favorite. So yes, you can do loads and loads with this wig. It's just a perfect length for wearing it down or wearing it up. Okay, my lovelies, let me know what you think of this one. So this was Belle Tress Dalgona 16 in, right, Rooted Float Blonde. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and stay fabulous. Bye.